Welcome, this is Gokul. In continuation in the information technology series, we are going to discuss something about variables, which we are going back and forth with respect to some mathematical formula or mathematics behind it, as well as the class and objects, patterns, etc. In that direction of thinking, we are going to discuss something about or more on variables and what is the underlying or governing theory behind these variables and the data structures, how it is formed, with some real life examples, of course. So from that perspective, let me start with giving some example. Like, you see that this is light blue color, and this is black, this is white, this is brown, and and so on and so forth. So these are all the colors, these are all the attributes of something, right? This is the color of the shirt. Shirt is the entity or the object, and blue is the color. This is the wall, and the wall has got white color, which is the attribute of the wall. This is head or hair, which has got black, and black is the color of the hair. So hair is the attribute. So all these are a property of the underlying object itself. So from that perspective, where does this black color get held on? Where is this blue color get held on? Where is this white color getting held on to? So if you look at that, so these attributes have got something behind that, and that the beholder of that variable is the object per se. So from that perspective, shirt is an object, wall is an object, hair is an object, and this color is one of the variables or attributes or properties of that. So wall has got a lot of other things, shirt has got a lot of other things, whether it has got a pocket or not, whether it has got a round neck or a collar. So like that, whether it's a full sleeve or half sleeve. So like that, there are so many variables this object can have, and it gets manifested. Tomorrow you prepare another shirt, and it becomes and maybe instead of a blue, it can be on a red, and it can have a pocket, and it can be under different color shapes. So from that perspective, if you really look at, shirt is an object, and this shirt is an object, rather. Shirt is the class, and this shirt is an object. Red shirt is another object, and these are all the properties, like color, like collar, full sleeve, half sleeve. All these properties have got some values associated with that. That's how you should understand. So where does all these variable come from? Okay, for example, and it has to be also held on to, right? That's the fundamental point. So I'm deliberately not using the word, the actual technical word, as well as in the real life world for now. Maybe I will introduce you in a few moments. So all these things are holding on to some attributes. And for example, you take these fingers. Okay, this is a finger is an object. Nail is an object. Whereas this is another finger. This finger also has got nail, and there is a finger itself. And where does these fingers sticking to? It is sticking onto the palm. So what do you call by this palm and these fingers, which have got these variables? And there are properties related to the palm as well. And this palm with 5 fingers is called a hand, right? So from that perspective, hand is a class, and this hand is an object, this hand is another object. Like that, any other hand is another object by itself. And when you instantiate this hand is an object, but also it has to have properties of palm and fingers. Okay, so but there are 5 fingers, and each finger in turn has got a body, a structure, a set of muscles or bones, and there is a nail. Okay, so how do we define these things? So the first thing here is that this hand is a union of 5 fingers, and each finger is a union of this body of the finger and a section of the nail. So the nail plus this body finger is a finger, and that finger has got a name, like this is an index finger, this is thumb, and so on and so forth. So you need to have a collection of these 5 fingers, and it has to attach to this object called palm and totally this is called a hand. So another example, if you really look at, if you take your kitchen for example, you will see a box containing peppers and so on and so forth. There are some 6 or 8 boxes you will have, and each one you will have a pepper, you will have some chilies, you will have some corianders, all that put it into a box. So that box, there are there are 6 boxes around, and there is a central box. So 6 plus 1, 7 box, let's say, and the 7 boxes are again put it into another bigger box, and each box contains different things like these peppers, etc. But no way the pepper is a property of that box, or that small box is not a property of the pepper. Both are 2 different objects. So there is a container, there is a small box which has got a length, a diameter, so that it can occupy some volume, and in that volume you can pour some weight of pepper, or you can pour some volume of liquid, for example oil or something like that, though you may not store that way, but it can technically, the box does not have any say on what it has to be stored. So like that, these 6 boxes are assembled with a central box. So but the property is just to hold on to something, whatever that is put onto that box. So these boxes, and again, are packed in such a way that this is a bigger container and it is stored. Okay, so I'll give you another example. You read, right? You read book. Okay, when you open the book, what it contains? There is a page heading, and let's say introduction, and you will see, if you are reading in English, there are only 26 letters getting manipulated in so many ways in the form of words, and each word has got a different meaning, and when it is formed in a sentence, this has got a different meaning. So, and how do you do that? Well, let's say the book says so, that this book is an introduction of how to get to know about classes and objects in programming. So this THIS is, T is a letter, HIS, but out of this 26, these 4 are formed. We discussed in permutations and combinations, right? So these 4 are formed and put it in the as a first letter, first word, and the next is BOOK. BOOK means no O, double O is there. So in the permutation combination, it is there is no hard and fast rule that the word should not contain the same letter twice. So it can contain duplicates. So every time every letter is filled, you can fill it from 26, and there is no upper limit to the length of the word as such. So you form this word, second word. This book talks about, like that you will complete, and by the time you go to the end of the line, then you will form the next line. And remember, as per the first video, this is the fourth quadrant, you are reading it from the top. So this book talks about object programming and something. Okay, so it goes to the next line. So the first line holds the words this book contains, and each word in turn contains certain set of individual letters, and the word will not demand or enforce that the letters thereof has got a meaning. Okay, and it is up to the author and to the reader to understand, to comprehend that. The word will never say that what it should contain. So as long as you put in those letters, the letters will form a string of THIS. This is a string of words, string of letters, and it has got a delimiter, like this word and that word. How your brain will understand is having a delimiter called space. Okay, there is a space between this book, so there is a space. So that's how the words are getting formed and the sentence is getting formed. And once you have multiple sentences, like say 7 to 10 sentences, you will take a logical grouping called paragraph and move on to the next paragraph. Like that, you will have 3 or 4 paragraphs. Once you are done, the page is over and you move on to the next page. You flip on basically to the next page. So like that, you add up everything to the last chapter, last line, and a full stop. That means that set of book is nothing but is a book. Okay, till then it is not a book. There are chapters, there are sentences, there are paragraphs, there are lines or sentences. See, the beauty here is that one sentence can go to more than one line, and one line can have more than one sentences also. There is no rule. Okay, it's up to the author, it's up to the reader. Okay, so like that, you will form sentences. You will form the lines. Sentences do not have a meaning here. Only these lines have got the meaning, and each line has got a set of words in turn. So that's how the book is formed. So with this example, maybe I'll tell you one more example. Such books are stored in a shelf, right? And you have multiple shelves, multiple racks. And in the first rack, you will store all your novels. Second rack, you will store all your technical journals. Third row, you will have this. And fourth row, you will have something else. So like that, you have 4 rows, and somebody asks you to find, okay, can you give me object-oriented programming by Grady Bush? Okay, and you will search, right? You will go directly to the second row of the shelf, and you know where to search. And if you have got a mechanism to index it, like probably you will make a note in those days. The first book is this, this is the author, this was bought on this. Like that, you will assign some attributes, your attributes, not the books per se, your attributes, when you purchase, from where you purchase, what was the price, and what is the book about, etc. And you will have an index, and you can search the index, go to the particular column where the book is held, and you can pick up the book. That's how the whole thing works, right? So now, what are we talking about? We are talking about a kind of a set theory, a kind of what you call arrays or containers, and these containers can have objects or it can have arrays, and a collection of this can be again an array or object. And finally, bookshelf is an object, a book is an object, and a paragraph is an object, a line is an object, a word is an object, a letter is an object. So how each objects get manifested in the form of an object or as in form of array, and in turn it groups into another object or array. Like that it cascades and it goes up to a book and a bookshelf. The same way the container which we are talking about in the kitchen, that can you can have 6 containers, and each can be of a different it can hold different things, and the whole thing is stored in the box and it is kept in a particular place. The same way, this is the shirt. The shirt has got these properties. This property blue is no way connected with the shirt. Just somebody is trying to get a map of this object and some other object, so it becomes a blue shirt. Okay, in the same way, this hand. Okay, you have got a palm and the fingers, etc. So this is an object, nail is an object, finger is an object. Together I make it to form an array called thumb. Like that I make array of these fingers, and I put these fingers one thumb, one index finger to this little finger, and I select a palm from say shelf and stitch it in such a way that it becomes a hand, and it takes the input to be associated with the forehand or something. Okay. So what is a palm? Palm is an object which has got one object and individual 5 individual arrays in this particular order and at this particular height, and each array, each finger has got one object of the finger body and the nail. So if you start looking at how the object is getting formed, and so obviously hand is a class, right? So this is an instantiation of right hand of Google. This is an instantiation of left hand of Google. So in the same way, every class, when it gets instantiated, it gets an identity, and that identity will hold a set of objects or an array, and as we discussed, it can be a collection of object plus array in any combination thereof to form that particular object or array. So this is the in general. So when you are trying to do a combination of this, like as a person who has got two hands, there is a left hand combination and right hand combination you have to pick up, like your right shoe and left shoe. You can't wear two left shoes, or you can't wear two right shoes. So you have to pick the corresponding, it's just a pair, right? So you have to select the left shoe as well as the right shoe. That's the combination. Okay, so how do you select this? Okay, this is the set you are forming, right? That's a set theory. We are actually not doing, all these mathematics you are doing it on day-to-day basis without knowing what it is. So, and if you know that programming is, you don't need to learn anything. Just look at from that perspective, you are done. So you are trying to do a union of left shoe and a right shoe in such a way that both are of the size, say 6 or 7 or 8, whatever it is. You can't wear 1 6 and 1 8 or 1 8 and 1 7. Okay, so you are going to have a combination, and that particular set theory has got a rule by which you pick up the set of left shoes and the set of right shoes, and you are putting in a combination. So the set theory, in essence, is the one which is going to run the show, or anything you see is a collection of object or arrays. Okay, object is singular, array will contain more than one object or one variable. That variable can be again an object per se or object's properties. Okay, maybe like you want to say that blue, green, red, etc. as a shirt property, and object is shirt. So it is like shirt comma in bracket, you can say all these three colors. So how do you interpret, how do you form this data is purely up to you, your imagination, and it has to be in a way that you must be in a position to read, or means access it, as well as when you want to write back something, like we'll take the same story of the bookshelf. So there are so many books are there. First time when you are buying the book, the shelf is empty, the object is empty or null, okay, and you are able to put the first book on this second row here, and next day you buy the second book, you keep it here. Why are you keeping it here? Why you are not keeping it in the first place? So that's the index position, right? So you decide whether you are going to do it in the alphabetical order, by the book name, or by the author, or by the date of purchase. Example, I am just giving an example, okay? So how do you store this? So when you store this like that, you build the bookshelf. You go up to say 20 books in the cupboard, and suppose you got a capacity up to 30 and you put 20, and now imagine that you want to introduce a book which is starting with the letter B by author name, and you want to insert this. Okay, already you have written the index, right, starting from the first book to 20th book. Now you have to imagine that how do you insert this row item to the third one or fourth one. So how easy or difficult it is. Okay, so this is a set of books. So you have to introduce somewhere inside, correct? That is one way. The other way is remove all the 20 books and put one by one, in the ascending order or descending order. This is a sort algorithm, right? So how do you sort this? Basically, you can sort in any which way. There are so many types of sorts available. Sort is nothing but what you really do in real life. Okay, don't get bogged down by the words like bubble sort, this sort, that sort. All these things your mind does anyway, whether you know it by that name or not. The mind does that anyway. So for example, you are asked to write you are asked to review a document, okay, for the content as well as for the elegance, aesthetics. So what will you do? By looking at the document, or by you submit your resume to some company, and before that you want someone else to verify that for aesthetic as well as for the content. So you will give it to somebody who will just look at it, and from the quadrant 0,0, fourth quadrant, that guy will scan in a second. Your mind will scan more than the speed of the computer. Your mind will say, okay, these are all the points where your font size is not correct, or you got a difference, like this is in italics and that is bold, so maybe you have to change. How your mind works? Mind was able to read something in blocks, probably para by para is able to read in a matter of a second or less than a second, and say that okay, these are the places where something is wrong. The other way of doing it is that you read line by line, watch line by line, see whether this is correct or not correct. Maybe you put a tick somewhere, you have a questionnaire, and put a tick saying that no, this is working, this is not working. So that's a manual way of doing things. Justice is a process oriented way of doing things, whereas your mind knows what is wrong instantly. So by looking at the one page resume, it will tell you where exactly is the problem. In the same way, that is because your mind has got indexing, and it is able to reproduce. We discussed about basal ganglia and amygdala, etc., frontal cortex. So that your mind is a wonderful machine. You can, if you use it rightly, you will do wonders really. So that mind is able to pinpoint where the error is. So what it is actually doing? It is doing nothing but your scanning or scanning of the document or your shelf in such a way that where to insert this. So we will discuss about when it comes to entities and relationships, how to manipulate. Manipulate meaning here how to insert or how to remove, or how to swap certain books here and there. Probably you did it wrong in the first place. So all that we will discuss. But the important point is that the whole thing is a set theory, and you know that all the Cartesian coordinates and all that. So A union B, B union C. If you are writing a if condition, this is A and B, or A or B, A not of B. All that is nothing but the set theories. And if you are good in the set theory, you can definitely without thinking twice, you can easily find out that. So that's the first part. Second part is you should know what or by this time you would have got an idea about how the object is getting formed from the classes, and the object properties, which are again could be an object. Object itself is this color is a variable, and but this is an object, this is not an array, right? So now how the array is getting stored, like a bookshelf or the book itself, or how your kitchen items are stored. Everything from that context, it is an array, and by how to reach to that particular array element, which is the book in the to be picked up in the array of set of books. So the array element. So which is so you can easily do that. That is nothing but the concept called indexing, and how to organize, how to reorganize. That we will see in the coming videos. But I want you to let know of one important thing. If you know that who has done the first probably the ever it was invented or what do you call found out or discovered with respect to this set theories. Okay, if you know Mahabharat, there is a character called Barmarika. Okay, when he is the son of or the grandson of Bhima, one of the Pancha Pandavas. Okay, and Lord Krishna assembled many people, many warriors, and he showed one tree and asked how many arrows you have to direct at to pluck all the brown or about to die leaves. Okay, each one was giving their own answers. No, I'll send 50, 100, etc. Whereas this guy, this Barmarika, said, I will do it in 3. Okay, in 3 arrows, I will get all the dead leaves under your feet. And that's where the story of the structured query language or set theory began, in my opinion. Okay, and that time, the first arrow he sent to find out how many leaves are there. Second arrow he sent how many are dead or brown leaves, and in the third arrow he just chopped off and get all those brown leaves under the feet of Lord Krishna. Okay, here the tree is nothing but the container of the set of leaves, okay, arranged in a particular way, and the leaves have got a property like green leaf as well as the brown leaf, and you are asked to write a query, okay, or how to scan the container in the first place and pluck it all the brown leaves. So only 3. This is the beginning, in my opinion, of the data structure or SQL query, or even for that matter the containerization, etc. Okay, and all these objects, as we discussed, are stored in the containers. So that containerization is a big concept by itself, and we will slowly get on from what we are doing to containerization and a few other topics including entity relationship. This is the preamble for this Mahabharata story is the preamble for entity relationship. We will get into the more of entity relationship as well as the data, the control in the screen, and how these two are getting aligned. All those things we will see in the upcoming video. Thank you for watching. This is Gokul. Cheers.